Hello and welcome to the 5th Sunday of Lent. As we approach the end of Lent, we are reminded of our last chance to cooperate with God's special graces of this season. To show that our last chance with God is not without hope, the Gospel presents us with an event that took place towards the end of Jesus' life. It was daybreak, the time of the morning sacrifice, when the people would get up early to listen to him in the temple area. When the people started coming, the scribes and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in adultery and made her stand in front of everyone. Tantalizingly, John does not tell us how the Pharisees caught her. Were they spying? Gradually, we are drawn closer to the end of Lent and closer to the Easter season. Hence, virtually all of today's readings give us hope and paint a very bright future for us. In the first reading from Isaiah, God tells us of the new things he is about to do amongst us. This means that in spite of all the difficulties of this present moment and this season, in no distant time the Lord will rise up on the occasion of our situation. Many of us are quite familiar with today's Gospel from John. The emphasis I would like to lay on this reading would not be so much on the hypocritical activities of the Pharisees in relation to the crime of the adulterous woman. However, what is most important here is the fact that Jesus restored to life this woman. Not only did he save her from her antagonists, he gave her a new injunction: go and sin no more. What Jesus gave her was a new life, and the mandate to live it to the fullest. Should this woman continue in her old way of life, or what do we think should be her fate? Of course, both physical and spiritual death. Daily, in our journey of faith, many elements, like the Pharisees, stand as obstacles to us. They often make life very difficult for us, because they have taken very good hold of us. They always stand as our accusers and thorns of the flesh. If you like, you can tell them they're the skeletons in our cupboards. These skeletons remind us of our true selves and indict us of the wrongs of the past life that we have. So we are held captive and almost perpetual victims. We often try to avoid them and live on, but because they are keeping close watch over us and are ever ready to accuse us, we prefer to remain where we are unless we are exposed. The truth is that when these skeletons encounter Christ and we ourselves draw closer to him as the adulterous woman did, they are disarmed. Our life is transformed for good. We should be encouraged by these words of Jesus: neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. What more could be newer and more perfect than Jesus restoring us to new life? As we approach the glorious season of Easter, the Lord equally says to us, go and sin no more. He promises us a better future if we heed his command. He promises us transformation and a place in his future glory if we remain faithful to him to the end. Therefore, we must constantly run to Jesus, irrespective of our situation, because he is ever ready to acquit us of the charges the accuser brings against us. When we do this, we can shout out with great joy, what marvels the Lord worked in us! Indeed, we were glad. God's story with each of us is going on right here and now. The newness of God's story goes on with our elect who will encounter the dynamic sacrament of baptism at Easter. We taste the newness each time we experience the second baptism of the sacrament of reconciliation. Our passing from sin to salvation is a continuous redemptive act, and each act of God's grace in us may be our last chance.